Howard Stern moments these guests regret. The self-styled king of all media is largely recognized as the best and most innovative radio broadcaster in the medium's history. In his 40-plus years on the radio, 40 years? Despite the fact that his career is still going strong, Howard Stern has never been hesitant to push the edge and take risks. And that strategy's paid him in the shape of consistently high ratings, a cult-like fan following, and a legendary reputation. One of the Howard Stern Show's defining characteristics is his ability to brilliantly interview celebrities in an atmosphere where anything and everything is addressed. We've compiled a list of some of the most bizarre Howard Stern interviews from the past for your enjoyment. Everything is fair game once you sit on that sofa. What great interviews did we overlook? We're sure we missed several since there are so many. Let us know in the comments, and don't forget to share these strangest Howard Stern interviews with all of your Stern fans. Rich Cronin. When former LFO lead singer Rich Cronin appeared on the Howard Stern Show in 2009, the interview was interesting. What drew you to a boy band frontman? Cronin turned out to be a fantastic topic. Cronin revealed how record producer Lou Pearlman misled and exploited him and other young stars in an interview that was both humorous and tragic. He also discussed his short relationship with Jennifer Love Hewitt, which ended in sadness and disappointment for him. Lou Bolera. Amy Fisher's then-husband, Lou Bolera, joined the show after participating in a sex film with her. Stern's sidekick, Artie Lang, was in a particularly combative mood that day and began hurling one-liners at Bolera, largely referencing Fisher's tragic killing of Mary Jo Buttafuoco. Bolera was displeased with Artie this morning, telling him he'd have to throw him a beating, among other threats. Lang seemed unfazed, and he heaped on the tough man for the entirety of the episode. Fortunately, no punches were thrown. Sydney Leathers. Sydney Leather appeared on Howard Stern's sofa in 2013 to discuss her long-running sexting connection with disgraced Congressman Anthony Weiner. Leathers didn't hold back. Do Stern's guests ever? When it comes to telling the group about their sexy discussions and what got the Democrat on. Leathers portrayed the disgraced former congressman in a negative light. She not only told him humiliating tales, but also conveyed the idea that he's a deranged, perverted guy with no sense of decency or reality. The interview's main point? I mean, as funny as it would be to have Mayor Carlos Danger, I think he's a little too busy jerking off to do anything for the city. Hulk Hogan. For years, the Hulkster has been a regular guest on the Howard Stern Show, and he's always a hit. Hogan has given many memorable interviews over the years, but none more so than his admission that he lied to Howard and Company about having sex with Bubba the Love Sponge's ex-wife, Heather Clem. Hogan had said that he would never have a sexual connection with Clem, but a sex video proved the deception. Hogan, devastated and vulnerable, addressed who could have taped the video and what steps he would take next. He eventually sued Gawker Media and was granted $140 million in damages. Henry Hill. Henry Hill, whose life in the mob inspired the classic film Goodfellas, 1990, is generally considered as one of the show's finest guests. He was inebriated almost every time he appeared on the program. Remember, it airs in the early morning hours, and he was never bashful about revealing the terrible, horrific things he did while in the mob. Cursing was not permitted on air during Stern's pre-Sirius radio days. That didn't stop Hill from swearing like a drunken sailor, despite numerous pleas and demands to stop. Hill often received calls from people with mob-related queries, which was usually a lot of fun. Crystal Harris. Crystal Hefner, also known as Crystal Harris, Hugh Hefner's wife until his death in 2017, joined the show in 2011 and stated some unflattering things about Hef. Hefner never went nude, according to the former Playboy Playmate of the Month, and they only had sex once. She claimed at the time, it lasted like 2 seconds, and then I was just over it. Harris rushed to Twitter to apologize for her nasty comments. The Stern interview scared the hell out of me, she wrote. He's a jerk. I was unprepared and said things I shouldn't have. I apologize. Sylvester Stallone's parents. Yeah, you heard that right. The parents of Sly Stallone. Back in 1992, Sylvester Stallone's mother, astrologer Jackie Stallone, ripped her ex-husband, Frank Stallone Sr., a new one when Howard brought up Frank's involvement with a 19-year-old girl. That caused Frank to cancel the event, and as you would expect, there were some big pyrotechnics. After some name-calling, Jackie accused Frank of assaulting and choking her, forcing her to the hospital on many occasions, and never supporting his wife or children. The back and forth continued many minutes and became even nastier. Howard was at a loss for words after failing to tame the volatile former couple. We're sure he wasn't too furious since it made for fantastic radio. Bri Olssen. This interview was not amusing, but rather agonizing to listen to. Charlie Sheen's ex-girlfriend, Bri Olssen, joined the show in 2015 after Sheen disclosed that he's HIV positive. In an honest interview, a terrified, sad, and obviously enraged Olsen told Stern that the actor violated her by failing to inform her about his infection while they were together. Olsen revealed personal information about their relationship, as well as how horrifying it was when Sheen lost his famed rage. Lenny Dystra. Former Major League Baseball player and convicted criminal Lenny Dystra appeared on The Howard Stern Show for the first time in 2016, and things quickly became bizarre. During his playing days with the Mets, Nails, as he was affectionately known, boasted about his skill in the bedroom, a recurring topic among Stern guests, particularly given the line of inquiry, and also challenged actor Mickey Rourke, with whom he'd been feuding, to a fight. It's worth noting that Rourke is not a little guy. Dystra told the Stern that he wanted to fight the wrestler-actor to the death in an MMA-style bout, and he also accused him of smoking a lot of cocaine and being poor. Jamie Presley. In 2001, during a discussion on Howard Stern's appearance, actress Jamie Presley informed the host that he got slapped by a Yarmulke. "Half my family's Jewish," Presley hastily sought to explain. "Everyone with whom I work is Jewish." Stern handled it in stride, but he was clearly hurt. Throughout the episode, Howard, who was assisted by Robin Quivers and Artie Lang, made self-deprecating Jewish jokes, not letting her off the hook. Presley was at a loss for words and forced herself to chuckle. "I really messed up saying Yarmulke, didn't I?" Presley stated aloud after a time of unrelenting joking. She subsequently apologized and said that she was just joking. Amy Fisher. Amy Fisher's 2008 interview had "Recipe for Disaster" written all over it, and it didn't disappoint. Unless, of course, you wanted to hear the whole conversation with Fisher, then it most emphatically disappointed. As previously noted, Fisher shot and injured Mary Jo Buttafuoco, the wife of her boyfriend, in 1992 when she was just 17 years old. Jessica Buttafuoco, Mary Jo's daughter, phoned in 6 minutes into the conversation. Fisher stepped out of the studio, scared, since she didn't want to take the phone call. On the one hand, we can understand Fisher's annoyance at having to constantly replay the past. What did she anticipate when she came to the studio, though? "That's the shortest interview I've ever done," Stern said as she exited the room. Jenna Jameson. It's no secret that Howard Stern has a thing for pornographic women. They've been on his show for decades, and Jenna Jameson may be the most renowned of them all. She was a regular for many years. Jameson has never been bashful in the studio, and she shared a lot with the presenter over the course of her many years on the program. She's ridden a Sibian, removed her underpants in the studio, Howard, of course, sniffed them, and spoke with the presenter while sitting on his lap. She was also notable for her naked appearance in 1997's film Private Parts. Bill Maher. Bill Maher was a frequent contributor to The Howard Stern Show in the 1990s, but it appeared like the two men didn't get along. That became obvious in 2001 when Maher was chastised for claiming on his program, Politically Incorrect, that the terrorists who flew aircraft in the World Trade Center were not cowards. In the middle of the scandal, Maher appeared on Stern's program, and the host and his team constantly mocked him. After the cancellation of Politically Incorrect in 2002, Maher went on to anchor the critically acclaimed and very profitable Real Time with Bill Maher, which is still running today. Stern and Maher have feuded on and off in recent years, with Maher telling Esquire magazine in 2017 that he'll never forgive Stern for betraying him. Donald Trump. When he was a businessman/reality TV celebrity, Donald Trump made several notable appearances on The Howard Stern Show. The Donald made several contentious statements on the show over the years, surprise, and many of them were revealed during the 2016 presidential election in the United States. Trump was chastised throughout the campaign for criticizing women's appearances on the Stern program, and evaluating them based on their attractiveness or perceived lack thereof. There were just too many things said that were, shall we say, unpresidential to list. Trump's interviews with Stern were ultimately insignificant since he went on to win the presidency. Leia Rini. When Leia Rini appeared on The Howard Stern Show in 2003, she supported Scientology when Howard and company questioned her about it. Of course, the irony is that Rini has been the most vocal celebrity critic of the church in recent years. The fiery King of Queens actress, who isn't afraid to go toe-to-toe with anybody, exchanged barbs with Artie Lang and got into an argument with a caller who claimed she invited him to her Los Angeles home. Kevin Hart. Stern's 2017 interview with Kevin Hart had several of the host's normal embellishments, such as the two debating their penis sizes. But it also included Hart speaking up on the kind of audiences he believes are ideal for budding comedians to perform in front of. You have to put yourself in the worst situations at first. You go down at 1 in the morning when you know the crowd is beaten up. You don't go on the primetime slots because they'll lavish you with love and attention. You have to go when the going becomes rougher. That's when you can put the stuff to the test. When Stern asked Hart what it's like to bomb as a renowned comic, he delivered an unexpected response. "Bombing is the best feeling in the world at this position because you know you're not being cheated," Hart said. "When I'm bombing, they're being truthful. This is not a good sign. You need it. You must be able to catch yourself and say, oh wait, this may be a bad thing. Okay." Sia. Sia, a singer/songwriter, went on Stern's program in 2014 to discuss the song Diamonds, which she wrote for Rihanna. Stern applauded the artist when she sang her own rendition of the song and started asking her about the song's possible significance. Eventually, the two got into a heated debate over how Sia's emotional condition when creating the song was tied to the euphoria she felt after opting not to commit suicide. Emily Blunt. Stern frequently questioned actress Emily Blunt about the adultery suspicions that hounded her relationship with former lover Michael Bublé during a 2015 visit. "It's complicated," Blunt said. "I'm becoming red. I never want to speak about it," Stern said. "You want me to give you closure? Pretend I'm Michael right now and tell me what went wrong, and I'll respond as Michael." The matter was dismissed after a courteous but strong refusal. Gilda Radner. To put it mildly, Gilda Radner came on an early edition of Stern's program in 1983, and it didn't go well. "Gilda Radner was really freaked out by me," Stern told Larry King in 2006. "She came in because she heard I was nuts, and she walked in and she was just unsteady, and she kept getting up and she stood up quickly to go and she banged her head on a speaker, and she was nothing but a catastrophe." Jennifer Lawrence. She told Howard about the uproar that erupted when she was marketing Red Sparrow in the UK. J-Law was presented at the British Academy Film Awards, BAFTAs, by actress Joanna Lumley as the hottest actress on the planet. Jennifer then turned to Lumley at the podium and said, "That was a bit much," which the audience saw as insulting to the English actress. She told Stern that England lit up, hated me, and thought I was rude.